All right, we're getting ready to start. Mika-Koivuniemi and Yajima against Petraglia and Mosayebi.
Well, the first problem you've got is the language barrier because you've got a Finn and a Japanese. But first up, the ex-hockey goalie.
Now, ball breaking in very sharp, Jim, and really an unfortunate break. Leaves the 4-6 split. Could have very well knocked out one or the other pin, but he'll have to just take the one pin count. Tough start for the Junichi-Yajima team.
So open after one after leaving that 4-6. So Mark-Mosayebi, Johnny-Petraglia. Mosayebi first. Out of Charlotte, 8 years.
And the great start. Very smooth, Mosayebi, getting the ball down early, letting it roll from the fifth board into the pocket. Now, it's interesting. We're going to see both the senior players as the anchormen. They'll be finishing in the 10th frame. Johnny-Petraglia up first shot, second frame.
So a lot of TV sets on in New Jersey today, pulling for this Hall of Famer, huh?
Oh, you bet. And there's the fast double. Strike from Mosayebi, strike from Petraglia. Early lead after 2 frames, up by 21 pins.
Yajima now, after Mika left the first open. Understands a lot more English than he likes to let on. Very personable, good sense of humor. Also here with his translator, Sam.
Having the same problem that his partner had. Ball hooked early onto the nose, the 4, the 6, and the 7. And both the shots to Mikel looked a little tentative. They didn't get aggressive enough at the bottom of the swing. That's why the ball hooked up high, leaving the splits.
Marshall, kind of interesting watching in warm-ups. I mean, a lot of the bowlers actually were sore. I mean, their hands were very tender, huh?
Well, there's a lot of games that are bowled leading up to the televised finals, and the thumb and the fingers take a lot of friction coming out of the ball, so it takes a while for them to get loosed up.
Mika now. He left the 4-6 in the first, so they're down by 32.
Much more aggressive delivery. Really projected the ball well out of the lane. What they're trying to do is get the ball to read the mid lane. Want the ball to go down and then hook in the mid lane and be fairly calm in the back end.
For a triple for the team now, Mosayebi.
Now, ball left of his target immediately. Never really gave it a chance. He leaves the 3 and the 9. And he knows he's just made an errant shot. Mosayebi's using a particle ball with the pin 4 inches from his axis, 5 inches from the CG. Wants a smooth roll. He's changed to a spare ball. Won't hook as much and makes a great spare.
So for Mark and Petraglia, strike, strike, and spare. 2 open for Mika and Yajima, then the strike. Now Petraglia, they are up by 30. "14 PBA national titles, 10 regional titles. Johnny-Petraglia and Mark-Mosayebi off to a fast start, but it's early. We're live in Reno. PBA Hall of Famer Marshall Holman. There's the start. Match number 1, a slow start for the Finn and the Japanese. Yajima now in the 4th.
A chance to cut into that lead, working on a strike. Strike here, they could make it just a 20-pin lead. It's still early in the match.
And he makes the strike there. The 55-year-old from Tokyo practices about 6-7 games a day, 7 days a week. Good work ethic. Yeah, we talked about Mika being a hockey goalie. I asked him how big he was when he played goalie back when he was about 11, 12 years old, and he just laughed. He said, too big. But what about his long reach? Is that a help?
Well, it is in his game of bowling. Well, he didn't project that ball down the lane, but got away with it. Crossed over for a Brooklyn. That reach that I was talking about, that really helps him to project the ball down the lane. That time he cut it off, was tentative. But in bowling, there are some good breaks to be had. That's certainly one of them. They're just down by 10.
3 strikes and a spare. The spare in the 3rd frame. Mark-Mosayebi now.
That's high. Good shot in the 1st frame. Mosayebi has made a ball change. But in his delivery, he got his elbow out to the right. We call that chicken winging the shot. Didn't get the good projection down the lane. And he leaves the 310. And a lot of times after one player gets a good break, like Koivuniemi with that Brooklyn, it gets in the mind of the opposition.
Pretty good in team events, Mark is as well. He won that World Team Challenge back in '94.
Makes a great conversion of the 310 split. Just trying to fit the ball in between the 3 and the 10. Textbook, beautifully done. Petraglia has yet to miss on lane 25. That ball down early. It crosses over.
Speaking of the lanes, Marshall, how do the players choose those lanes?
Well, what they do in this type of a format, both the players practice on both lanes to start out the first 10 or 15 minutes. Then they find out what lane they feel more comfortable on and concentrate the last 45 minutes of practice on that individual lane. They should be locked in by now.
Just that lone 5-pin for Johnny.
And after an open start for Mika and Junichi, a strike here in the 6th frame and they could take the lead.
And a beauty.
Really taking advantage of the good breaks. A profile view of Yajima, shoulder high backswing, very smooth. We call that style a stroker. He's not a power player. He won't overpower the lanes. Certainly getting the job done as Mika now up on 25 to take that lead even further.
Bowled a 300 game last year at the Indianapolis Open. Mika from Finland, Yajima from Japan. They were down early, but they go out with an 11-pin lead after 6.5 frames. Another look, a beauty by the Finn, the ex-hockey player. We're live in Reno.